love down deep in my heart is horses and cattle. There's a great American hero that we all look up to. When times are hard and chips are down, he knows just what to do. A cowboy's got a set of rules that he lives by day to day. And if you ask for his advice, he'll more than likely say, if it's a fence, mend it. If it's a dollar bill, spend it before it burns a hole in the government's jeans. If it's a load, truck it. If it's a punch, duck it. If she's a lady, treat her like a queen. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. It's in the way he lives his life, the songs he sings. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. They got a simple solution for just about anything. If it's a job, do it. Put your old back into it. Cause a little bit of dirt's gonna wash off in the rain. If it's a horse, ride it. If it hurts, hide it. Son, pull those baggy pants up, turn that bowl cap around and get back on again. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. It's in the way he lives his life, songs he sings. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. You got a simple solution for just about anything. Now an old cowboy and a young buckaroo were out working, riding fence. So the old man thought he'd test this kid on his working skills and common sense. He said, son, if you saw three men riding in the front of a pickup dressed alike from boot to hat, could you tell which one was the real cowboy just from where he sat? Well, the kid said they all look like George Strait, so there ain't no way to know. His girlfriend said if they all look like George, who cares? The old man said, you got a long, long way to go. You see, the real cowboy is the one who sits in the middle. He ain't just there by fate. You know the real cowboy sits in the middle of the pickup because, first of all, if he's sitting in the middle, he don't have to be the designated driver on the way home from MerleFest. Number two, if he sits in the middle long enough, and every time you ask him a question, he answers from the middle position, he could qualify to run for President of the United States of America. But cowboys really don't like to sit on the fence. The real reason why a cowboy sits in the middle, and he ain't just there by fate, is he don't want to have to drive and he don't want to have to get out and open the gate. That's cowboy life. Every cowboy's got it. It's in the way he lives his life, the songs he sings. That's cowboy logic. Every cowboy's got it. Got a simple solution for just about anything. I don't need another lady. You're the love, you're the lady. Thank you, friends. Since 1989, I've been making cowboy music albums, and the reason I did that was because there's a difference between country music and cowboy music. At least there is a lot of difference these days in what they call country music and cowboy music. See, the difference is cowboy music is really good. It's really, really cool. And the guy that made it the coolest was Marty Robbins. So I knew I had to do some Marty Robbins songs. And here's my favorite one. I'd like to dedicate this to all you NRA members out there. To the town of Wildfire, rode a stranger one fine day. spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. He's here to do some business with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. This town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to kill him, that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth at 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Well, the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. He was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. He said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to kill him, 20 men would make a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. The swiftness of the ranger is talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather when a bullet fairly ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. It was over in a minute, and the folks just gathered round. If they'd have had the same Supreme Court we got these days, back then he'd have never been laying there on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Sometimes it takes a big iron, big iron. Tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Okay, before I go, I want to introduce my band members. First of all, my producer, who's been in the band longer than anybody else since he was 3 years old. He's also a lead guitar player since he was 13 years old. He's also a phenomenal high school teacher, very dedicated to the kids of our nation. That's Ryan Murphy, my oldest son. Right behind me here is a girl that I've known since she was 9 years old. She went to school with my daughters at Cornerstone Christian Academy, and she's a graduate of McNally Smith Music School in Minnesota. And she's been blind, but she can see more than I can see. She's been blind since she was a little kid. She was born prematurely. She's 22 years old now. But you know, put all that aside. Just listen to the way she plays. Mayling Felton. Well, we do want to do a shout out for the people that have had to deal with blindness in their lives, because this festival was founded by a blind man who could do incredible things, including, I understand, John told me, including he would even get up on his roof and fix his roof. Whoa, I wouldn't do that. Right next to me, a guy that's also been in the band a long time. 30 years I've been working with him. Gary Roller on the bass and vocals. Phenomenal bluegrass fiddler and mandolin player from upstate New York. But he came south as quick as he could. He's got a green card now, and we're hoping we're going to get him fully into this. And that's Ward Stout. How about a handful? Oh, and this next guy's a legendary banjo player, fiddle player. He's played with so many people, I don't even have time to tell you. Patty Lovelace, lots of others. That's Troy Engel on the banjo and the fiddle. And the mandolin, and he plays go-go, and he plays it all. Okay, now we get to the most important reason why we have Mayling here. This piano piece is by a composer from Russia, written around 1900. It's called Scriabin's Etude No. 3. I tacked it on the top of this song. There are very few people that can play it. It totally stumped David Letterman's piano player. We had to rehearse for 3 hours before he could get it right. And he's a pretty good keyboard man. Mayling can do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mayling Felton, and a little piece of Scriabin's Etude No. 3. She comes down from the yellow mountain on a dark flatland she rides, on a pony she named Wildfire. A whirlwind by her side on a cold Nebraska night. They say she died one winter when there came a killing frost, and the pony she named Wildfire busted down the stall. In a blizzard he was lost. Red calling wild. So by the dark of the moon I planted, but there came an early snow. Been a hoot owl howling outside my window now 6 nights in a row. She's coming for me, I know. And on Wildfire we're both gonna go. We'll be riding Wildfire. We'll be riding Wildfire. We'll be riding we're gonna leave side first and behind. Get the hard times right on out of our minds. Right.
Michael Martin Murphy. Oh. How beautiful. Fantastic day we've got going here at the Hillside Stage. We got more on the way for you in just a few moments. Make our stage changes and get Scythians up here next. Of course, they're also the host of tonight's Midnight Jam. I know a lot of you folks will be up there as well. Look forward to seeing you there in the Walker Center. It'll be a good time with those guys. And of course, later on, the Waybacks and all their special guests will be here for the Hillside Album Hour. I know we're all excited about that, ready to jam, right?